Hey guys, what's up? Yes, I'm late. I know, I am very late. I apologize for that. As I've mentioned in some of my previous videos, I've been a bit preoccupied by a certain game that has taken over my life, as well as a certain sickness that has also kind of incapacitated me for a bit. But after taking a while, I finally got a chance to start watching Luke Cage season 2 on Netflix a few days too late, and as such, I'm now going to review these episodes several days too late, and hope there's still enough interest in the property to bring a few audience members in. Not that my my reviews to Jessica Jones season 2 episodes garnered any much attention, but yeah, I'm still gonna do it. Maybe one day, 10 years from now, people will consider those videos. I don't know. Anywho, Luke Cage season 2 episode 1. I believe it's Soul Brother. Hold on. Should have checked it out earlier. How very unprofessional of myself. Yep, Soul Brother number 1, because just in case you didn't know, all of Luke Cage's episode titles are based on are named after songs, and I believe Soul Brother number 1, the number 1 is from the name of that song, so it makes sense. So this episode sees Luke Cage back in Harlem, facing the consequences that have happened in season 1, as well as in the Defenders event that also happened between season 1 and season 2. I believe this one actually does a better job of recognizing the effects of the Defenders, much better than Jessica Jones season 2 did. Way back in the day. I think and mostly because some of the main characters from the Luke Cage universe were more dramatically affected by the events of the Defenders, specifically Misty Knight. Excuse me. Who, obviously, if you haven't watched the Defenders, then spoiler alert, she loses an arm at one point, and that has affected her greatly, and we see how greatly that affects her in this episode. Overall, I think that was a very, very strong first episode of a season. Not quite as strong as the first episode of season 1, I'll admit. We get to see Reggie Cathy, of all people, playing Luke Cage's father, and we have seen glimpses and hints to Carl Lucas's father in the previous season, but we never actually got to see his face. I don't think we did, at least. And surprise, surprise, it's Reggie Cathy. I mean, that color me shocked. I mean, I just a few days ago I watched a documentary about the history of Earth, and it was narrated by Reggie Cathy, which is kind of shocking to me. Not that he was narrating it, he's got a great voice, but the fact that I unknowingly watched 2 projects starring Reggie Cathy in a prominent role without even knowing that both projects had. I'm just rambling. Sorry. So Reggie Cathy, when he first showed up, I thought it was just a random, throwaway reverend believing that Luke Cage is some kind of false god, and I hated his character right away. I couldn't wait for him to get his comeuppance, and then you find out he's his dad, which is just surprising. I'm not gonna say shocking, but yeah, I mean, we did knew that in season 1 that Luke Cage's father was a reverend, so no surprise there. But regardless, I think there's a really much bigger storyline with that character than I originally thought. And I can't wait for him to be proven wrong, because that's really what I want with these types of characters, to be proven wrong over the course of the season. So we'll just have to wait and see about what happens with that. Overall, I think the scenes with Mike Colter and Rosario Dawson were absolutely brilliant. Yes, even the sex scene. We get to see a little bit of a bottom, but I think that those two characters play off each other well. I like their different approaches to the whole how to stop Mariah Dillard and everything that's involved with her. That they're both having two different approaches. I really love what Misty Knight did in this episode, where she decided that her injury doesn't mean that she should be out of the force, and she's going back to the police force, and not because she wants to be remembered for something better, but because some bad people that she helped caught and arrest are now getting out of jail, and she feels that's wrong, and she wants to put them back in jail, meaning she's still sticking to her guns like she did in season 1, which I think is brilliant. Obviously, if you've seen some of the leaked set photos, or I don't even know if they were leaked or they were officially released, but at some point during the season, she's going to have a robotic arm. We know that because that also happened in the comics, and that because of those photos we saw. And I guess for budgetary reasons, they didn't give her the robotic arm just yet. That has have to be something that'll develop over time. But I believe it was also been said that the robotic arm itself came from Rand Industries, which of course is the company owned by Danny Rand, also known as Iron Fist. Of course, in the comics, Luke Cage and Iron Fist are really good friends. I believe they debuted together in the same book, and they had this little superhero service called Heroes for Hire. Maybe, and I believe Finn Jones, who plays Iron Fist, might. I think they said he will show up in this season, so maybe we'll get to see some Heroes for Hire action, which is just super. I love their dynamic in Defenders. I think the scenes that featured Luke Cage and Danny Rand together were some of the strongest parts of that miniseries. So overall, like I said, very strong opening for an episode for a first season. We got to see a little bit of the main villain of the season, Bushmaster, and I mean the way he showed up on the scene and did what he did was just masterful. I mean, you always gotta introduce your villain in a big dramatic way to show just how big of a threat he's going to be to the hero. And what he just did, excuse me, what he just did there, not only just because he was bulletproof, but the way he moved and the way he slashed around those people was unbelievable. And Luke Cage is going to have his hands full, because not only this guy is strong as him and bulletproof, he also knows how to fight. And Luke Cage, he's strong and all, but he mostly just punches his way through things. He doesn't really have a clear form of martial art. Maybe Danny could help, I don't know. Mariah Dillard is still doing Mariah Dillard stuff. I think is cool. Nothing too big with her character in this episode. Same thing with Shades, but Shades continues to be just a slime ball, because he in the comics he was part of a group of villains called the Serpent Society, hence the name Shades, like a cobra, hence the name Diamondback and Cottonmouth and all those other people, and maybe we'll get to see more of those people in this season, even though I doubt it, since, you know, Bushmaster. But yeah, I've always compared his character in the first season to a bit of a snake, because he's slippery and he's cunning and tricky. So, and you can't really trust him, even though he says he's on Mariah Dillard's side. Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. He always looks out for himself. So, I think this review went a little bit too long. We'll watch the rest of the episodes when I have time for them. But for the current time being, let's just end this review right now, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Stay safe. Hello again, everybody. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, where I do all kinds of weird stuff, like showcase all these things, you know, trailer reactions, movie reviews, all kinds of fun stuff. So, until next time, I'll see you guys next time.